Okay, so if you saw my Daiso Queens haul, you know that I recently came into possession of some UV resin, which I have never used before, so yeah, we're gonna play with it today. So I purchased this UV lamp, sphere mold, and this open bezel that has a moon and stars, and should let you guess the theme. Unless you read the title of this video, then you probably already know what I'm doing, but we'll just ignore that part. So I have here some Tim Holtz Distress Reinkers and some Distress Spray Stains because it's just something I already had on hand and I was hoping it would work to color the resin, but I didn't really know. So using this silicone mold as a palette, I mixed up some carbon black into the UV resin. I have this clear sticky gel matte thing that I pressed the bezel into to stop any leaks instead of using tape, and then filled the bottom layer of the bezel. And then I cured it. This, however, I think was a mistake. I'm pretty sure I should have put a layer of clear resin on the bottom before the black resin. I'll show you why at the end of the video. I accidentally mixed up too much of the black glitter resin, so I added another bezel, this time just a silver round one, and added that black to the top and bottom. Then I mixed up some dark blue resin, I think this is Salty Ocean, along with some blue glitter, and started to make a gradient toward the center of the bezel from each side. I was trying to make a sort of nebula looking design, or at least that was the idea to stay on topic. Next is Broken China, mixed again with more glitter, shocker, I know. And finally, at the very center is just clear resin with some white micro glitters. After curing all that, I added some more clear resin and put in some loose glitters to look like stars or iridescent spots or... I don't know, I was just throwing things into it because this one was totally unplanned. I didn't mean to mix up too much black. More curing and then one more layer of clear to seal everything in. And then I cured that and finished off this more impromptu bezel. Back to the original plan, I cleared off my silicone mold as best I could, though you'll see there's still some glitter stuck to it. And I added some of the clear resin with some white glitter into the well that fits the first bezel I used. I pushed the resin up the sides so that it would make the half sphere sort of shape and cured it. I was actually surprised how well it stayed up on the sides while still liquid. It was viscous enough that it didn't really slide down while I was trying to get it to form into this glittery shell of clear resin. Next, on the clear acetate release sheet from the little gel mat I'm using, I mixed up a few colors into some resin. The pink is Tattered Rose with a drop of Picket Fence white to make it more opaque and a little bit less transparent. The purple is Dusty Concord, and Faded Jeans is the blue. I also added glitters in as similar colors as I had. I had a lot of glitter laying around, so I had quite a few options. Now I added regular clear resin to the shell in the silicone mold with a few of those larger hexagon glitters. And then I added, on the very top, once it was full, the lines of the three colors I mixed up. Then, taking a needle, I inserted it directly in the center where they all intersect and carefully swirled the resin around like I was stirring a tiny cooking pot, making sure the needle was inserted about as deep as I could get it without stabbing the shell layer at all times. After curing, it had a weird little bump at the bottom where the resin had bubbled up a little in the center, but it wasn't too bad, and when I added it to the bezel with more clear resin, it evened out and ended up sitting flat. And here is a little bonus Saturn-shaped gold charm because I had a little blue, purple, and pink resin left over and I can't stand to waste things. So I added it to this charm just so it didn't get thrown out and of course cured that too. This little UV lamp I have is cool, but it actually didn't cure things to being hard, no matter how long I left them for. The resin never made that hard click noise when I tapped a nail against it. I ended up putting everything I made on my windowsill and leaving it for a few days to harden completely. And after that, they are now all very hard and click when I tap them. I'm assuming the problem is that the lamp isn't strong enough, so I ordered a stronger lamp. I'm hoping that it helps next time I try. But yeah, so this is my first adventure with UV resin. What do you think? For having close to zero idea what I was doing and not knowing if my dyes would actually color this resin and still allow it to cure properly, I think it turned out pretty well. Though this is why I think I should have put a layer of clear resin down first. When I pulled everything off of the gel mat, this uncured resin stuck behind. It was either because of my lamp, as I did this part before I let it cure further on my windowsill, or it was because the dark color of the resin wasn't able to fully solidify. I think it was the dark resin though, because the clear resin in the center of the silver bezel didn't do this, only the darkest colors did. I had to add another layer of clear resin on the back of each bezel to smooth it out, but they still ended up looking just fine. Not too bad of an experiment. I'll definitely revisit it in the future, so subscribe and ring the bell if you don't want to miss that. I'm thinking ocean themed is next? I don't know. But anyway, like this video if you like that galaxy charm. I'm kind of in love with it myself, not gonna lie. And until next time, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye!